Stop recording.
Okay, so today's video is basically going to be a little bit more about my story and, you know, the whole fact of, you know, basically getting introduced to, the whole idea that I would have to use a cane. I was about, say, 6 or 7 years old, and I remember meeting with my mom and this person from the local blind school, and basically this is right after finding out, that glasses were not going to help me, and unfortunately, it was so scary being told that I was going to have to use this cane to get around, and it was really, I was so scared. I was so, being a kid, you're 6, 7 years old, and being told you'd have to use this thing called a cane, and you'd have to basically change how you get around, and like I said, I was just so afraid, and I remember crying, and it was just like, except just knowing that, um, you know that was it's enough that as a kid, you're singled out for wearing glasses, and people make the other kids make fun of you, and and you know it's there's all that whole stigma, but then on top of that, now you're gonna have to you know use a cane, and then also I had that was just about the same time I started learning Braille too. I would take a small bus, and I would go to school for the blind, and I would work with a teacher there, and learn how to read Braille and learn how to use my cane, and all these kinds of things about blindness stuff that I had no clue even about. That I had no clue that this is how I was going to have to read and get around, and even as as I started to get older, and when my family we moved here to Michigan, and then becoming mainstream, that was a whole different kind of thing. Having to get along with the other kids, and not wanting to look out of place, and not wanting to use my cane at all, just during the training lessons, the O&M lessons. That was always a huge thing, because I had so much sight, and I'm like, why do I need to use this thing? I don't need to use a cane. I can see. I can see these other people and stuff. So that was, it took me a long time, even all the way up through, like junior high or middle school, whatever you want to call it. I remember, I had to take my cane and work with the O&M instructor once a week. So I definitely, I would bring it to school, but then I would just leave it in my locker and never use it throughout the day. And that's basically how it was up till probably around maybe high school, when the complex. It was basically one huge complex, and you had the high school side and the junior high side, and the lighting in the high school side was so much darker than the middle school side, and that was when I realized, like, okay, there's no way around it. I am definitely gonna have to use my cane on a more regular basis, and also at that point in time, I started to lose, of course, more of my sight, and uh, eventually I was starting to have uh, my eyes would adjust, and of course that time between my eyes adjusting to the lighting and being able to see anything, that kept getting longer and longer, and of course eventually happening to the point where it never my your eyes just never adjust anymore. So, and it was a really frustrating process, and not wanting to use my cane, just you know wanting to hold on to that sight. You want to not accept that you're losing your sight, and that you're gonna keep having the sight that you have, which of course that's not the truth. You have no control over it, and accepting that is probably one of the hardest things of RP. Accepting that vision loss, and accepting not being able to do the same things that you could. Even when it came to changing how I was doing crossings, I couldn't just cross the way all the other kids would cross, because I would walk home, and you watch all the other kids walking home and doing crossings, you want to do the same crossings all the other kids are doing. So, you know, you and having to change how I did that, and accepting this is the way I was going to have to do it, and being just frustrated with that. And so, I mean, there were some things I will say, when you start to lose your vision and all the things that you have to adjust and change your life to, there are some upsides to it. I got to leave classes earlier and have more time in between getting to my classes. I could leave early for lunch. If the class was suddenly too loud, the teacher, I could just say, hey, I need to leave, and I could leave the class and, go do my work somewhere else. And, there was a lot of, pros to, having a disability. It's not, of course, losing vision, of course, that's the major downside. Not being able to see anything, play video games, watch TV, even just go to the car shows. That was a huge thing growing up here in Michigan. Going to the International Auto Show, that was a huge thing. We used to do that every year pretty much with my dad and everybody. I remember, being able to go to the car shows and look at the cars, and it was, just having a good time being able to do all that kind of stuff. There's just a number of things that you miss, and that it's, even today, even in the past, 10, 15 years, with having to accept my, with losing more of my light perception, I used to be able to see dimmer lights easier than now, and that's become really hard. Even, what was it, a few weeks ago, or just whenever it was, I was over with my friends, everybody's going to sleep, and, they asked me to, turn off, some electronics, TV, whatever, trying to make sure that TV was off was freaking hard, and I could just think, back to like maybe, 5, 6 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever. I used to be able to not have an issue with that kind of stuff. Okay, yeah, the TV's on, it's on, I can see that light, and, so it just, having to accept that alone, it's always hard as you get older, time goes by, you lose more vision, and it just, you go from one thing to the next. And so, but yeah, I would say, cane travel, having to use the cane to get around, it's, once I got that down, it definitely made life easier, not running into people, running into, things, and, becoming more independent. Honestly, I find it so amazing how all the things I learned how to do, and, all the things I got to do, all the bus trips, and all the, getting to, I think that was one of the most things I appreciated, in the O&M lessons, just getting to leave school, getting to go on these walks, and, just getting away from everything and everybody, and getting, I don't know, I think that's one of the things I enjoy most still to this day when I go out on my trips and stuff, is even, I don't know, just walking by myself, there's so much things I kind of feel that when you're surrounded by other people, and, you got to deal with all that kind of stuff, and, I don't know, I can say that when it comes to traveling, I feel really comfortable. I kind of feel that it is, I never really feel afraid. I mean, there definitely is some crossings that definitely freak me out more than others. I definitely will say that. I'm not saying I'm never afraid, or nothing ever gets to me, but for the most part, I feel really confident and secure when I'm traveling. I'm never worried that I'm, gonna be in a situation that I can't get myself out of, or, you know, and I can say that goes to having really good, you know, cane training, and, you know, practicing crossings, and practicing cane techniques, and, always being prepared, always having an extra cane, because there's definitely times where, if I wouldn't have had an extra cane, with me, I would have been so out of luck. It's so easy to break canes. And also that goes to my favorite types of canes, which are the graphite aluminum blend. Basically, the main sections are graphite, but the joints that connect them are aluminum, and it makes the cane like really nice and light. And it's the older canes. They were all just aluminum, and honestly, you would think that aluminum would be light, but no, man, they were always really heavy. And of course, there's a lot of different options. This day is such a great day and age for using the cane. Honestly, you got all different kinds of folding canes and different colors to choose from, and it's not like just one thing, you know, or one style to choose from it. And so there's a lot of great things, about. I don't know. I know some people would say that guide dogs are the way to go, and that it's like you can fly when it comes to having a guide dog, or whatever. But honestly, I'm a really fast walker. Honestly, you can ask anybody. I do not walk slow. So um, I don't know. I can say I would never want to have. I'm not sure if I'll ever want a guide dog. I don't know. I know some people like. I'm not saying that you shouldn't get a guide dog, or that this is the absolute way to go. But this is just for me. Honestly, for me, this is what works for me. And honestly, I'm not sure if I would ever change it. I love. I don't know, just something about depending on my own abilities and skills and training. And I don't know, I've just put so many hours into it. And I've just done so many things over the years with learning how to be such an effective traveler that way, that to try and change it, I don't know, I'm not sure if I would want to have to go through that. So who knows, you never know, things could change, you know uh, but as of right now, I don't think that ever will be the thing. So I think I'm going to end the video with that. So like and subscribe. I definitely could use more subscribers and people to come check it out. Oh, another thing I didn't mention is I've been trying to decide on new ideas and names for this channel, whether it be Crazy Cane Adventures. One of another name I thought was cool is RP Traveling and Me. Uh, the other channel I have, which is G2Z Audio. Maybe I don't know. Maybe just changing this to just G2Z Traveling. I don't know, or G. I don't know. I just still trying to decide on a new name, possibly, and to get people to come and find it easier. I keep trying to tell when my friends or people ask me how do they find my YouTube channel, and I tell them, they're like, well, there's a bunch of other Gabes here, Gabe Guzons. Which one is you? Or of course they do eventually find me, but I want people to search, and when they type in that name, it's like the first result that comes up, or like in the top like 5 or 10, 5, 10 results in there, or at least in the top 5, something like that, because I don't know. I need to do something to really grow this channel. This is kind of this is really the thing I've wanting to do. I want to really bring awareness to what it's like to travel without sight, cane traveling. I think other people can benefit, because I know there's other people that are going through the same thing. You're going through tons and tons of other people are going through vision loss, and honestly, I just hope that these videos would help people not feel so alone, and see that they can get out and do and travel and be successful, and that there's ways to accomplish the things that they want to accomplish themselves. So like with that, I'm going to end the video here, and have a good day wherever you are, whenever you're watching this. Just come back for the next video next time. So like I said, give me your comments and thoughts, feedback, anything to improve my channel and videos, and anything. I probably could have used my higher end recording equipment for this video, but honestly, I just kind of, the way my mind works, I just need to do something when I'm thinking of it, and you know, and get it done. as one of the videos I did, get it done, do it now, get it done, however that title was. Either way, so catch you next time. Oh, come on.
Stop recording button.
There you go.